Today on Paranormal Insights, we're going to take a look at microchipping the U.S. population. And is Big Brother finally here?
And we have a viewer question from Adam Limhoff about what he should do for his career.
And we're going to the LA Conscious Life Expo to look at a special coffee that makes you healthy and beautiful. I'm Joseph Ernest Martin.
I'm Angela Lynne Gibson.
And this is Paranormal Insights, where we bring you the latest and best from the metaphysical world.
Here, you'll get real tools and insights to your questions as we bring you answers from beyond the ordinary.
Angela is an intuitive medium and metaphysical educator. She is a host of Transpersonal Radio, exploring parapsychology, spirituality, and how our thoughts upload our reality.
Joseph is an award-winning psychic of over 25 years and is the author of the international bestseller, The Quest to Row, and recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence.
You know, this whole topic of micro-planting chips in the human body, you know, it's such a heavy idea and thought. For me, it's heavy because we see abuses in corporations, in businesses, in government all the time. And this is like opening a door to say, hey, abuse me, I'm a victim, I'm a victim.
Absolutely, and it seems to be getting more and more difficult to be able to fall off the grid if you choose to. We used to be able to say, I'll get rid of my bank account, I'll get rid of my credit cards, I'll get rid of my smartphone. Well, now we're at the point where that may not be an option any longer.
Some people think that, okay, the implantation of a microchip under your skin is going to tell people where you are all the time. What they don't realize is most cell phones tell the network you're on where you are all the time. As a matter of fact, there's even software specifically written so that you can find your friends and family wherever they are in real time. The part about the microchip, though, that I honestly don't like is this whole idea that it's something inside my body I cannot easily get rid of or turn off if I choose to.
Biometrics consist of technologies implemented to convert physical characteristics of living beings into digital data. One such example of biometrics includes a rice-sized microchip, usually inserted under the skin of the right arm or hand. With the passage of the American Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, human microchipping has been made a resurgence to the forefront of concern among a growing number of U.S. citizens. Indeed, the expansion of the human biochip program is certain to have legal, constitutional, privacy, economic, and even health-related impacts on a global scale. We may have reached the critical zero hour where we must choose between privacy and security. Before you write off all this chatter about human microchips as nothing more than crazy conspiracy theories, consider the following. On August 24, 1998, Professor Kevin Warwick, Director of Cybernetics at the University of Reading at the UK, became the first human to publicly volunteer to receive an implanted microchip. Implantable microchips have since been tested on prisoners in the UK, prisoners in the state of Utah, various gang members released on parole, and even people suffering from chronic disease. In 2006, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield and Hackensack University Medical Center participated in a pilot program to implant microchips into 280 patients in New Jersey. In 2014, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation funded a program to design a birth control chip. This birth control biochip releases hormones into the body to prevent pregnancy. The chip lasts for up to 16 years and can be turned on or off by remote control. Currently, there are no safeguards in place to prevent co-opting birth control chips for covert genocide or selective breeding. Human biochips present a grave threat to privacy and constitutional infringement. On February 9, 1995, Executive Order 12949 was enacted as a presidential directive. Section 302A1 states that the Attorney General is authorized to approve physical searches without a court order to acquire foreign intelligence information, all in the name of national security. Depending on your travel patterns and your personal and political associations, you may be targeted and subject to physical and electronic searches without a warrant in open court and without prior notice of any kind. Data mining and profiling would become automated and easy to do without your knowledge. Sensitive medical information and possible criminal history would be available to anyone with access to the chip. U.S. citizens are legally entitled to due process, but a microchip enables automatic incrimination based on biometric data retrieval. The ability to remotely track your location real-time is also possible. We have already faced the reality of indiscriminate overstepping of boundaries by the National Security Agency, brought to public awareness by ex-NSA contractor Edward Snowden. Now imagine the implications of having a read-write tracking microchip implanted under your skin, accessible by various agencies. Serious abuse of authority by corporations or governments collecting all this biometric data is likely a chilling consequence. There are some obvious benefits to having a microchip implant, such as more accurate medical care, being able to locate lost or abducted children, or even not having to carry money or credit cards to engage in commerce. However, history has repeatedly shown that abuse of technology for nefarious purposes should raise serious alarm and consideration for an outright ban of human biochips.
If I want to turn off my cell phone, I can. But if it's a microchip, how on earth do you turn that off?
Exactly, and part of that problem as well, if it's implanted in your skin, it grows underneath the muscle. There may be people that have already been implanted and they might even not even know about it. It is very unnerving to think that you could go in for a medical procedure and be implanted with a chip already and not even know that that's happening. So I find it very unnerving as well. Exactly, you can throw away your cell phone, you can choose not to have a cell phone. If you're implanted with a chip that can be remotely controlled, that's really disconcerting to me.
The FDA, the Federal Food and Drug Administration, has already approved biochip implants created for identity verification. If someone has an implanted biochip, they have that information and identification data, medical records, plus more, embedded usually in their hand. One serious problem with the human implantable RFID microchip is that it is unencrypted. According to Wikipedia, a major drawback for such system is the relative ease with which the 16-digit ID number contained in a chip implant can be obtained and cloned using a handheld device. This is demonstrated by security researcher Jonathan Westus and documented in the May 2006 issue of Wired magazine. He proved that anyone with a reader can steal the information on a chip and clone the signal, enabling that person to impersonate a chipped individual. Human microchipping is already in progress. Some employers in the U.S. have made microchipping mandatory for their employees. Millions of military personnel around the world have been microchipped for security reasons, and countless numbers of innocent civilians may have been covertly microchipped against their will by their governments during routine operations. Some privacy advocates warn of an even more frightening potential abuse by our own government that could lead to a loss of our civil liberties and freedoms that our government and that corporations have been doing that we're just not going to be liking.
No question. And again, that becomes an issue when you have a situation where you have one company or one agency in control of all that information and all that data. Who is the overseer of that agency? Who gets to really say how our information is controlled and handled? We should have a right to our own bodies and be able to say what happens. And at this point, it seems that that's not the case.
Well, and because I have a lot of friends in the UFO community, and they have been talking about, alien implants for a very long time. And people have said, oh no, those things aren't alien implants at all because they're really sophisticated and they're made of an unusual alloy and they grow a protein coating that matches your body. But now we're going to be the aliens implanting each other with these little rice-sized chips. So, with religions, basically, especially the Christian religion, very popular in America,
yes,
very much against what they would consider the mark of the beast.
Absolutely.
There's going to be a lot of people who are going to say this is the mark of the beast, whether you believe it or not. Now, the beast doesn't have to be the devil. The beast could actually be the bad big brother. And we're going to be entering this time where self-responsibility is actually going to be incredibly important, where we take responsibility back, not hand it over to Santa Claus or whoever we feel is running our government at that time. We have to enter this place of having the tenacity to guard our freedoms ferociously and really start saying, we've had enough, don't tread on me.
There is guaranteed misuse of data if a single corporation or agency is in charge of chip creation, distribution, and information collection. Third-party oversight is critical to ensure legal and ethical compliance in the use of data gained from the microchip system. Once there is a constant stream of data from our microchips to agency databases, our Fourth and Fifth Amendment protections disappear. Proponents support microchip implants, citing better control over suspected illegal immigrants, terrorists, sex offenders, and parolees. Chip supporters also argue that implants could locate elderly Alzheimer's patients who wander off and lost or abducted children. Rice-sized implantable microchips could minimize medical and prescription drug errors, increasing the quality of patient care. Companies are currently developing a hair-thin microchip that can be inserted into the retina of the eye to transmit data to the brain to assist those who are sight impaired. While there may very well be noble causes, the far-reaching implications of implanted microchips demand further investigation. Absolutely. And you know, I couldn't have said it better myself. It's really incumbent upon each individual to take responsibility, start asking the tough questions, find out what's really going on, and take responsibility, voice your opinion, and not really go into this lightly. It's really disconcerting to me. I think more and more people should be involved in finding out what is really happening with these companies.
I absolutely agree. And if you were to ask me personally, you know, Joseph, what would you do? Would you be implanted? Would you implant an elderly person who is sick? Or would you implant someone, a child, so they don't get lost? I would say absolutely not. You know what I'm going to do instead? I'm going to take care of that elderly person. I'm going to watch that child. I'm going to put my energy, love, and attention into the relationships in my life that still matter. I am not going to rely on a little tiny piece of technology to circumvent my responsibility to my family, the ones I love, and to my community. And if that wasn't enough, you know, I got to tell you, if my employer wanted me to be chipped as a requirement for the job, I'd have to say no thank you. That is not something I'd be willing to do.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I think that whether we are, I look at it also from a point of perspective of health. It would be great. It would be great to be chipped and be able to say, well, here's the records, medical records, and here's everything taken care of for you. But again, the question becomes, at what expense? What are we trading for our privacies, our rights, and in trade for that, for the conveniences? And now we're off to the show in LA to speak with Papua Coffee, the coffee that makes you beautiful.
We're here with Christina Avenes and Living Beyond Organic. And we were looking at this fantastic expo where there's just hundreds and hundreds of vendors. And I was immediately attracted to Christina because of the product she sells, which is healthy coffee. And I was surprised when I saw that. Healthy coffee. Coffee that not only tastes good, smells good, is amazing, but is good for you. How on earth can that be?
Well, it starts in Papua New Guinea in Indonesia. They have an amazing tropical, pristine rainforest environment, which is actually one of the few left on Earth. And what happens there is the soil is very mineral rich, the oxygen is pure, and there are no chemically amended soils on the island. So what happens is we yield these Blue Mountain Jamaica beans, which are the best beans on Earth, combined with the best ecosystem on Earth. And this yields these beans that I then import and roast myself. The essential oils actually hold beneficial properties, and those essential oils are extracted in the roasting process and then furthermore extracted in the brewing process.
Well, you know, I noticed when I was looking at the beans, they actually look a little bit different. Why is that?
They look different because they actually are loaded with antioxidants and they're loaded with beneficial properties, and the essential oils give them this sort of glossy look. And what happens is when you brew it and you drink it, it actually has an alkalizing property in your body when it combines.
It's important to point this out, right?
Yes.
Because, you know, people will hear a term like an alkalizing property, and you might be thinking, well, what the hell does that mean, alkalize? Sounds like soap or something. Mm-hmm. Now, why is an alkalizing property important for someone, especially in a beverage like coffee where you might be drinking it every morning?
Absolutely. The reason why, because you are drinking something acidic every morning if you're drinking regular coffee. When you're drinking drinking regular coffee, it's the first thing you put in your body, highly acidic. Acidity internally breeds harmful bacteria. Breeding harmful bacteria then breaks down your immune system, makes you more susceptible to virus, and essentially breeds disease. So what you want to do is have an alkaline environment, so then you're no longer a good host for harmful bacteria, and
Yes.
in addition to that, you're detoxifying the body because this coffee redirects toxins to your colon for elimination. So you're going to end up alkalizing and ridding your body of toxins, plus it's super delicious.
Well, and that's important to know because, you know, if you're like me and like virtually every other American on the planet, well, at least in America, you drink coffee in the morning and that acidity is actually hurting you. So that means those millions and billions of cups of coffee every single morning is really kind of hurting the population.
Exactly.
Because what we want is that alkaline environment
Absolutely.
within our body. Now, I notice you have like all these different blends.
Yes, I do. What we do is, in addition, and here at Conscious Life Expo, we have an audience that appreciates what I do. We take this coffee that is already good for you and already exceptional, and we take it to another level. I'm a certified Reiki practitioner in addition to a food alchemist and an author, and what I do is I take Tibetan singing bowl, I raise the frequency of the beans, I also do Reiki on the beans, and so in addition to that, I don't know if you're familiar with the work of Masaru Emoto, but he uses the frequency of words. So I will write a mantra or I will write a positive word on all of the storage bins. So they're constantly getting an infusion of positive frequency. So in addition to the chemical benefits, the alkalizing benefits, you're getting the frequency benefits.
Well, you know, and I got to tell you, I was looking at this coffee, and this is a vanilla coffee.
Yes.
It looks good, it smells good, and you know, I'm going to be tasting in just a little bit.
Yes.
The people that I've seen sampling this product have absolutely loved it.
This one is exceptional, and you picked the right one because this vanilla bean is actually from Papua New Guinea. So you're getting the same mineral-rich soil and ecosystem that is lending itself to these special beans, lending itself to the special orchid plant that this vanilla bean comes from. And it's the actual vanilla bean that's ground and mixed in. It's not an oil, it's not an extract, it's the actual vanilla bean.
Well, people watching this are going to look at this and go, okay, sounds great, alkalizing, good for my health, and I've heard going to make me look a little younger. What's about the price point on this for people?
Well, you made a good point about younger. It is actually a beauty coffee because regular coffee is dehydrating. Along with being acidic, it's dehydrating. And when we are chronically dehydrated through drinking acidic coffee, what happens is we are victims of premature aging. Dehydration leads to premature aging. So we want to get you off of acidity, not just because we want you to be healthier, but we want you to look better longer. So that's the other reason. But the beans themselves are super special because these happen to be pea berry beans. And that is unique because it's naturally occurring when only one bean gets fertilized in the coffee cherry. So you're getting double the antioxidant and benefits of coffee beans that you would normally be getting because all the benefits are going into just one bean instead of two.
I think that is fantastic, and it just kind of blows my mind because, you know, people who drink coffee know it's a diuretic. You know, you dehydrate when you drink it. They also know it can give you that like jittery effect if you drink too much of it, and this does not.
No.
This is totally amazing. So people watching this,
yes,
I know because I'm interested, are going to be interested. What's an easy way for them to find you?
The best way is to log on to the website drinkpapua.com, and you will not only see all of the choices that you have, but I also have video demonstrations on how to prepare it.
Which is really great. I love the video stuff. Now, can they call you also?
Absolutely. 818-957-6585. If you don't have a computer, we can be placing a phone order for you.
Now, can people anywhere order this from you?
Absolutely. I have shipped all across the United States and Israel and Saudi Arabia and Switzerland. So anywhere in the world, really.
Well, that's fantastic. And of course, that information is going to be at the bottom of this segment and at the end of the show in the show credits to make it very easy for you to find. You know, Christina, I think you're not only doing a service for people's health nationwide here, but you have a product that smells good, looks good, and it tastes good, and I'm going to be having a cup in just a few minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Alkalizing one cup at a time.
Absolutely.
So enjoy.
And now we have a viewer question from Adam, who'd like to know what he should do about his career.
What should I do for my career?
Adam, I'm really glad you're asking this question about your career, because career at your age is going to be very important. Now, I've asked my guides to come in. I've asked your guides to come in. I've already shuffled the cards. We're going to see what your guides have to say about a future career for you that may involve chemistry. The very first thing that I want to tell you is that you really have to decide what it is you want. I still feel that you're not exactly certain in what you want to do or where you want to go with this. I do feel that also you need to connect with people who are doing this kind of work in the field already. Make a connection with them to verify this is what you really want for yourself. Now, you have great hope for the future. You're willing to move forward. You're willing to do the work. You're a tough guy. You're going to make it all happen. That's going to be fantastic. You have the confidence to go forward in an amazing and beautiful way. So all your ability there as a foundation for you is already set and already really, really good for you. Now, you've got to believe this just a little bit more. I feel that there is a little insecurity here happening for you that kind of hinders you just a little bit as you're going forward. Now, the universe says, go, go, gadget, time to go, get moving, make it happen, move now, go, go, go. So don't waste any time. This isn't a time for meditation. This is a time about decision making and moving forward for you. Now, I do feel that part of you doesn't actually love this whole idea of chemistry in your future as a career. So if you decide to choose this because you're self-determined, not predetermined, then you need to decide what is happening for you emotionally, and can you be happy doing this career? Now, if you don't get your happy emotions from this career, then you really kind of have to get them from the side, because if you don't get it from career, you have to get them from a place that's either from family, friends, or a hobby that really will make you happy, fulfilled, and balanced, because balance is going to be very important. You can do something very intelligent, very technical, but the balance thing is what's really going to make this work for you as you go forward. Now, here's the best part about your reading. Your guides say that you're going to have wonderful and amazing success in this career once you decide what you really want to do, what flavor of chemistry or what flavor of science you decide to actually stay in. This is going to be working out in your favor in a beautiful and amazing and successful way. Now, you didn't really ask this part, but your guides say that you're an old soul. Your guides tell me in my head that you've lived many past lives. This is not your first rodeo. So I feel you can do many amazing and beautiful things with this career should you decide that this is something that you really want for yourself. Personally, if you were to ask me how I interpret all this for you, this is a great direction for you. Good luck, Adam. We're rooting for you.
Adam, I'm going to be using a spectacular deck of cards today to look at your question about what you should do for your career. I understand that you're getting a degree in chemistry and you'd like to know what to do further. It's really important to keep in mind when you're thinking about your career all of the questions that you have around that as to, first of all, why did you even pick that field in the first place? What I see here is that you have a lot of decisions to make, and you have a lot of questions whether you should even be in the sciences at this point. What I'm seeing here is that oftentimes you can be sort of your worst enemy. So you get thoughts in your head where you're thinking, you know, I'm not that good, I shouldn't really be in the sciences, but there's more of a creative side to you, and so you should possibly listen to that. If you are going to still be in the sciences, what I can see here is that you are not going to be happy sequestered in a lab. You're someone who needs to be involved, and you need to have face time with people. So if you are going to continue in the sciences, you may look at something that might be out in the environment or public service or public administration in the sciences. The other thing that's really important to understand for you is that you need to be very forceful about the decisions you're making in your life and not allowing other people to sort of force you into a place that you don't necessarily want to be. So make sure that you're not doing this because someone else wants you to do it, but that you're actually the one choosing to do it. In the end, you have to decide what your path is, what's right for you, regardless of what anyone else thinks. The other thing that's really important to understand here is that you don't want to be going after a career just for money. You want to make sure that you're getting some kind of a passion behind that, because if not, you're going to be extremely unhappy. And again, that's really important to keep in mind with your personality type. You're much more people person, so keeping that in mind with the sciences, Don't get stuck in a lab. Make sure you're out and about with people. Make sure that you're spending time doing something that's really fulfilling for you. Also keep in mind that you would probably be a very good instructor. So if you do want to stay in the chemical sciences or in chemistry, thinking about being an instructor would be that perfect blend of staying in the sciences and also being in front of people. You are also very talented in being able to communicate your ideas and communicate where you are with your thought processes and being able to share information. Again, I find that very valuable, and perhaps staying in the teaching realm would be more important. I really would suggest that you focus on finding a mentor in your area that you can work with and ask questions. Find an instructor who has really guided you along the way and who really inspired you, and get them to give you a little bit more direction on what the next step would be, whether it's master's program or whether it's PhD or whether shifting careers altogether. So again, making sure that you are following your life purpose, your passion, and not doing what others are expecting you to do is extremely important. And making sure that you keep in mind that it's never too late to change your mind. You're not stuck in any one thing. Your decisions are up to you in the end, and what you decide to do is completely okay either way you go.
You know, one of the fun things I really liked about this set of readings specifically is that we used two different sets of cards. We used a Marchetti deck, and of course we used the Quest Tarot, and yet the readings came up so similar.
Well, that's the beauty about the cards. No matter what, the cards don't lie. It doesn't matter how many times you ask the question or what types of cards you use. It's great to get verification and validation, but pretty much the answers are going to be the same because they come from source or from guides.
And Adam, I think, got a really clear message. I believe that Adam actually needs to figure out what he wants to do before he takes the next step. But I think you and I both agree, we're confident that in his future, there is lots of success.
Absolutely.
We want to answer your questions and address your topics. If you have a question you'd like answered or a topic you'd like us to look into, we're easy to find. You can find me at questtarot.com or email me at joseph@questtarot.com.
You can find me at AngelaLynneGibson.com or email me at Angela@AngelaLynneGibson.com. In the Sacramento area, you can watch this program on Comcast Channel 17. See more at accesssacramento.org. In the San Francisco Bay Area, you can watch this program on Comcast Channels 23, 28, 29, and 33. And throughout the state of California, you can watch this program on AT&T UVerse Channel 99.
Additional channel listings can be found at aetv.org and att-services.net. We're also on Roku and selected cable channels throughout the Midwest. You can also follow us on Facebook, Vimeo, or YouTube. Simply search Joseph Ernest Martin, Angela Lynne Gibson, or Paranormal Insights. And be sure to watch our new series, The Magic Minute, exclusively on YouTube, where you'll see easy-to-use everyday magical techniques to improve your life, because it only takes a moment to make magic. And when you watch, be sure to click like and subscribe. Please send us your questions and topics,
so we can share our paranormal insights
and answers from beyond the ordinary.